Rob, you mentioned it. My goodness. I mean, I knew the Lakers weren't very good. But this is ridiculous. And all I could think of watching that game was I was kind of focused on LeBron. And I was just like, what is going through his mind? This has got to be humbling to the max for LeBron. And I get it. He's putting up all these great numbers, and that's not to be completely washed away. Because we've had a lot of stars who put up big numbers and they doesn't lead to wins. We were talking about Bradley Beal yesterday, Karl Anthony Towns. I can go on and on. So at work, if you want to say LeBron's falling to that level, Trae Young. Like all these guys putting up these huge numbers and not winning. It's a lot of great players out there doing that. If you want to throw LeBron's into that pack, fine. But Rob, LeBron has always, outside of his first 2 years when he was a youngin', been able to carry, not the greatest talent to wins, not championships. He's needed stars with him for that. But just to some wins. And they have now, get this, the Lakers are now 6-16 since January 9th. They've now lost 4 straight, 7 of 8, and we could go on and on. It gets worse. So that's what was running through my mind, Rob. Like, wow, this has got to be humbling for one of the best players ever. And he is out there like helpless. Like he can't do anything to stop the onslaught.
But this is the reason, Chris, yesterday I said that I don't believe they'll make the playoffs because they can't beat anybody. They can't stop anybody.
Well, you have to differentiate. Because I'm not saying this to challenge you. I'm just saying, what do you mean? Because now it's complicated. Like, is that they won't make the play-in, which is the top 10?
No, that's not the playoffs. They will not be in the...
So are you saying they'll make the play-in, but they'll get beat in the play-in?
Yeah, because that's not the playoffs. That's not... Right.
But you're not saying... But I'm just saying, I'm not challenging you. I'm just saying for the listeners, you have to clarify. Right. We don't know, do you mean they're not even making the play-in?
But the play-in... But the playing game, technically, you're not in the playoffs until you win.
Most people don't think of it that way. That's all I'm saying. So you got to clarify.
Yeah, they will not be in the playoffs. When the final 8 from each conference are picked or determined, they won't be one of those 8. And it's because of what I saw and have seen over and over. Chris, defensively, who are they stopping? Here's another one. You just gave a number, Chris. How about this? The Lakers are 1-15 versus teams not named the Jazz since December 15th.
Teams that are 500 or better, winning teams.
It just says versus 500 teams.
Well, yeah, but
1-15.
Yeah, 1-15 versus teams 500 or better.
Okay. The only win was against the Nets without KD and Kyrie. That's the only team that they beat.
And that ain't a winning team.
No. So I'm just saying, I mean, that is a shocking number that one night LeBron and Westbrook and Carmelo couldn't put together an effort, Chris, to beat a good team. Not once. I mean, that's mind-boggling. We're talking about since December 15th. We're in March. Hello? Is this on? How do you look at this team and believe that it's going to just magically turn around because the calendar turns to April? I don't see it.
Well, I don't think they're magically believing that. They're believing if Antonio or Anthony Davis gets back. And I'm going to say this, Rob. I don't disagree with what you said. I'm not ready to just say they're totally not going to make the play-in or playoff. We'll see what happens if they get to the play-in. I mean, that's not certain right there. They're only a couple games ahead of New Orleans for that. But I will say this, for as bad as they look, here's what Ty Lue said after the game about the Lakers. He said, I think they've had the most starting lineups in the NBA, which is like 31. Just figuring out how they want to play, small or big. AD is back. AD is out. Brian was out. So it is just tough. But when they get to the playoffs or the play-in game, I guarantee you that you don't want to see that 8 seed or whatever seed they're going to play in. They are a really good team. I don't agree with that, but they just have to figure out how they want to play. But they also got to figure out their health situation. That's what has been really hurting them all season. Here's what I will say, Rob. I think Ty Lue is right on that note. I get how bad they look. I get what you just said, 1-15 against teams 500 or better in the last few months. If I am in the playoffs as a number 1, number 2 seed, I mean, I'm confident we're going to do what we do. And I'm not predicting the Lakers will beat them. I'm just saying, man, I would not in the first round want to see LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
I just disagree.
I'm saying that.
I really do, because it's not just those two guys. And their record is a losing record even when Anthony Davis has been healthy this year. So I get it.
A lot of that was without LeBron. And even when they've had both of them, you're right, the record is losing.
It's a losing record.
It's just been so disjointed.
Yeah, but the only problem is that's coach speak. He's not going to rip them or whatever. He might have to face them. I get what Ty Lue's doing. He's just being what coaches do all the time.
I don't
and he's
disagree.
giving them respect.
You might be right on that.
You know what I mean? He's giving them respect.
Just
because they just swept the Lakers this year. I mean, What are they going to do? Jump on their grave?
The Lakers. I'm just saying he's not going to meet the Lakers in the first round.
But he's not going to rip on them or try to throw dirt on them or be like, yo, we swept them. We've beaten them 7, Rob G, or 8 times in a row.
7
Yeah, you know what I mean, where you act like you've done something. And they've had a ton of lineup changes. They've missed a lot of players. I get it. You know, Anthony Davis is a great player. They won a championship and all that. This team, Chris, the other parts, when you talk about those two guys being together, I agree with you if this was with the old team and when they were a top 10 defense in the NBA and they had other players. Where is that? There's none of that. And that's what bothers me is they give up 130 points every night.
Well, they're 16th in the NBA in defensive rating.
That's
I'm
shocking.
I'm surprised it's not worse. But
am I right? That's shocking.
They don't guard. They're old. They're too old to really stay in front of people consistently. And I'm not picking them to win a round. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I get where Ty Lue's coming from. You're right, he might just be saying the politically correct thing. But if I'm, say, Golden State, and they're the 2nd seed, and the Lakers end up being the 7th seed, you better come ready to play if the Lakers are healthy. I really mean that. Because one thing I think, and I've said this all year, Rob, you know I have, one of the weaknesses in my view for the Warriors is their lack of size. And the Lakers, for all their issues, do have size. Even if they just go AD and LeBron on the front line. That is size that could give Golden State some trouble. So I wouldn't pick them in that series. And Golden State hasn't been great without Draymond Green either. So they need to get him back. But all I'm saying is I get where T. Lue is coming from.
Yeah, I just think he's being nice as a coach, and that's what you say. And out of respect for what they've accomplished, you're not going to bury LeBron. LeBron could be having a terrible year, and they would still say nice things because I get it.
I agree with that.
Okay, you know what I mean, Chris? He could be having a bad year, and they would be like, just like Antonio Daniels said yesterday. I wouldn't bet against that. No, but I'm just saying I wouldn't bet against LeBron. I think that's natural to say, but if you're just doing it forget about the lifetime achievement, forget about just watching what you're watching now. It's hard to pick the Lakers to do anything because right now they can't beat anybody.
Well, this isn't what you're going to see, though. Nobody's
sure?
saying.
Are you sure?
No, I mean, everybody that says it, including T. Lue last night, is saying with AD. But no, if AD doesn't come back, no, they're not going to win a round. And I'm not saying they will with him, but I'm just saying if I'm the first round and AD is back and fresh and has had 3 games on the regular season to get himself together, yeah, that's a first round that I really don't feel like that's a great reward for me as a 1st or 2nd seed. But we'll see.